This is Pastor Shola. I have with me here we call her, for everybody in Boss family, we call her our associate pastor. Sister Gerry, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So you're here because you wanted to tell us, your testimony. So I'll start with this. Tell us a bit about your battle with cancer and how God pulled you through that situation.
Oh. First of all, these are tears of joy. This wasn't my first episode with cancer. I had it back in 2011 on the right breast, but he was able to catch it. God is amazing. So amazing. I didn't have the spirit of fear. Okay. And that's only because of God's love. That now I know for sure that he has for me.
It's okay.
Not doubting that he didn't have it, but he really showed up and showed out this time. I thank God for my children that were there. I really thank God for the prayers of my church family and the support of my church family. But once I found out 10 months after I just buried one of my youngest sister because of breast cancer. In 2017, I had buried another younger sister for breast cancer. So I had buried two sisters already that were under 40 because of breast cancer. And then 10 months later, after burying my sister, they tell me that I have breast cancer in both breasts. So I said, okay, so I went into prayer, and I asked the Lord, and I said, Lord, whatever your will is, whatever your will is, let your will be done. You will be glorified through it all. I said, your word says that I can come to heaven with one arm, one leg, well, I can come with no breast. So let your will be done. And I'm okay with that. I can't speak for my children, but fear never came. It never came. And I thank God for that. I thank him for that.
Well, that's good. So it's from what I can pick from what you just said, it's the fact that your relationship with God and the fact that God's love surrounded you drove the fear away. Just like the Bible says, perfect love cast out fear. So while you were going through the storm, you didn't have fear, even though you had buried a couple of family members because of that. So then my next question would be, what centered you through the storm? Because from what you just described, it's enough for people to go crazy, right? You've lost two family members, and now you're getting the same, prognosis or diagnosis. What really centered you through that storm?
He did. Remember, like I said, I had it first. I had it before them two had it.
Gotcha.
Back in 2011. What really not amazed at me, but I just, through this, I started knowing God more and more, deeper and deeper. And when my oldest daughter asked the doctor, can you see, can you tell how long my mom has had this? Because she take her mammograms every year, once a year, faithfully since the 2011 episode. So he said, yeah, we did that. We went back. We went back over her past. At least we went back 3 years back on her past mammograms. And we can see that she has had it for 3 years.
Wow.
3 years.
Wow.
And not know.
So even though you're doing a mammogram every year for 3 years,
they didn't see it.
Wow.
And I said, now the left side was a stage 2. At this time, the right side was a stage 1. Now, mind you, after seeing my 2 sisters battle with the chemo. Now, I would say that might have been a step of fear, seeing what they went through. But all 3 of my doctors, I said to them, I need you to be upfront with me. Don't sugarcoat nothing. Don't water nothing down. Be real with me, straight up. And so he said, well, Miss Warr, remember in the beginning, you said that you wanted me to be real with you, right? And I said, yeah. He said, well, I got to be honest with you if I can be blunt. I said, go ahead. He said, well, I know you didn't have your MIR because you said there was no way possible that you were going to do chemo. I said, yeah, I said that. I said, but I also said, in obedience to God, I will be obedient unto my doctors. So he said, well, I have to say to you, you're not your sisters. And I said, you're right. He said, everybody's different. You're not your sisters. And I sat there and I said, well, you know what? You're right about that. And I thank you for being blunt. So go ahead and let's do an MRI. So they did the MRI and they did the genetic as well to see, because cancer is in my family. So that way that door can be open for my daughters and my nieces to get the gene removed. But when they did the genetic, it didn't say it was genetic. But when they did the MRI, this came back as a stage 3, not a stage 1. And he said that if, when it's at a stage 2, this automatic removal. So like I had already told him, if you move one, just take both of them. Don't just take them both. But let's go ahead and do all the tests as you're supposed to do. Don't worry about it. I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. So when he came back and they told me there was a stage 3, they set up for removal. And that really just blew my mind when he said that it had been there for 3 years. And I said, well, if it's been there for 3 years, why didn't you guys, how you didn't find it? He said, because the cancer that you have, it's invasive, but it hides behind your healthy tissues. And it's also a cancer that can go through your whole body. So that's why we also recommend chemo and radiation.
Gotcha. So, for 3 years, even though you didn't know, God kept you.
For them 3 years.
For 3 years. So, in conclusion, for someone who's watching right now that has the same diagnosis or prognosis, or someone who is currently going through it, or someone who maybe in the next 1 year, 2 years, they're going to come to that same door, what would you tell that person?
If they are a child of God, build a relationship deeper with God and trust God. He will bring whom he wants around them. If they're not a child of God, become one. Because they're going to need him. They're going to need him. This is a journey that you know how the Bible say, you're alone, but you're not alone. This is one of them journeys that you will feel alone. You will feel alone. But you got to know that you're not alone when you got Jesus. And God will fulfill all of those voids and all of that pain and that suffering. He will comfort you. Again, my tears are tears of joy.
Because
I
of
still
God.
pain to this day, but God gives me strength and joy to keep going. So if you're not a child of God, get to know him. Pray to him. And spend some time with him and ask him to send people your way. Send believers your way, true believers. Not judgmental, but believers your way. And call on him. And he's going to answer. He's going to answer because you're going to need him.
Thank you for sharing the story. And,
you're welcome.
For those of you watching, if there's anything we can pull, the thread we can pull from the conversation, is that God will pull you through.
Yes, he will.
Regardless of your storm. Thank you for watching. God bless you.
God bless you.